We are so excited to present Bizzin to you.
Like the AI integration that's going to be, or that is added.
You see so many entrepreneurs, they have these great ideas, but they are so stuck in their current position and in their current business with admin, with everything, that they don't get to a point where they actually focus on that bigger goal. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bizzin. We are still excited to have you here. I'm still Daisley. And
I'm still Jace.
Great one. Yeah. So excited for our next topic, Jace. Maybe you can lead us into it.
Yes, very, very excited for this one. So this is what we're all about. Why we created Bizzin, what Bizzin is, and also someone, let's say, where does the name Bizzin? What does it mean? What does Bizzin mean? Basically, what does it mean? Businessing.
Yeah, and busy doing business.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a verb. It's I'm busy.
Yeah,
like I'm busy doing business, and not just like I'm busy. It's I'm busy doing business. So I think it's quite cool on the name as well. I mean, we decided together on the name, but we were just playing around so much with getting names because you want something that has a punch to it. So I think Bizzin is a fitting name for where we are going, what we are, what the app is all about as well. So what makes you excited about this app?
Everything, literally everything. No, there's so many things. I think for me, especially, I said it as a joke in the first episode, but it really is a real thing. Like, I do feel like I still have baby brain, and I think it would have helped me so much during my pregnancy as well, where I was one of those who forgot everything. So I think it's still a struggle. It really is getting to remember things. I mean, you are.
What are you telling me about it?
I don't need to tell you anything about it. 10,000 WhatsApps a day. Did you do this? So I think Bizzin for me, especially like the journaling, the keeping track of things, making sure that I can set my goals and I can remember them and I can be reminded of it. I think for me, that's the most crucial thing about Bizzin is the journaling and the keeping track and making sure that I remember. And I think that's a big thing for me.
Definitely.
So what was the start of Bizzin? What made us think, there's a need, there's a gap, there's something that needs to be filled? Because as we also said in the first episode, there was a problem. As with every entrepreneur, they see a problem and they find a solution. So what was that for Bizzin?
So I think, as well, the amount of times or the amount of ideas we've had for an app in this last 5 years that we tested and we tried and we tested the idea and we tried. And so I think in part of our journey, part of our passion, part of our purpose was always to design something that becomes a solution. And that's a big focus for me in the accounting firm as well, is how can we better our service on a daily basis to always give a solution to the client. And I think part of Bizzin is understanding through the experience of that I had with clients in the accounting practice is how can we find a better solution for them. And the one thing is it's one thing to focus on your business, but it's a different thing to focus on yourself. And this is what Bizzin is all about, is to focus on the entrepreneur, to focus on your journey as an entrepreneur. Like you mentioned now, baby brain, right? So you forgot some things or couldn't remember some things, but there was still so much happening during that time. And how do you remember, right? And how do you keep track of that? And how do you go back and reflect on certain decisions that has been made on a daily basis? I mean, if you look at the amount of days, right? So it's 365 days a year. And then if you're looking at how many days in that year you're working, most of us is working 5-6 days a week. So it's a majority of your time you're doing things every single day. It's impossible for you to remember all of those things. It's impossible to remember every single client meeting that you had, every single opportunity, every deal that you didn't get. It's impossible to remember everything. So part of the app is, like you mentioning, the business journal that we're going to, that the app is going to have, is just being able to record what actually happens during your day. You know, being able to reflect on that and being able to actually go back a year or two before. If you just want to reflect on something that happened 2 years ago, there's going to be an option for that. So
I just want to touch on that because that's so important. I mean, when the business started growing, we started employing people, especially, this would have been extremely helpful.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a more difficult thing in business than having employees and guiding through that and all of that. So just managing that and remembering, okay, this is what happened. This is how we handled it. This is how we could have handled it. This is how we should not have handled it.
Correct,
and going back to that. So to make sure that you do not make the same mistakes. And then also now with finding the perfect employees, that we do have a very great team now. So looking back at, okay, what did we do right this time?
Correct.
How did we make sure that we get this employee and they're great and they're bought in, and employing people, the processes, the questions, all of the things that we did. Just what mistakes we made with that. And also now that we have a really great team, what we did to get them, what did we do right this time? So just to keep track of that, okay, this is what the mistakes you made, let's not do that again. To, wow, this is something we actually did right, so let's do that again.
And it's actually great to reflect on that. Because I think as entrepreneurs, we need to be open to learn. We need to be open to understand that sometimes we're going to make mistakes. Sometimes the mistake is not just lying with the employee. And if I'm thinking of the accounting firm, you know, we are 12 people in the office now, but there was a point in time where I started asking the question, why are people not staying? You know, and I actually had to go and reflect on I had to do self-reflection and understand, but maybe the mistake is with me. Because maybe my expectation on every single person is much more than it should be for that specific position. Because every person has their own strength and stuff. And I think that's something that I personally had to reflect on. And so this is what the business journal is all about, you know, and that's only one aspect of the app. Is how can you reflect on a daily basis, and how can you get to a point where you actually make sure that you do notarize the things that you are going through? Because as people, we need to be able to go and reflect on the things. And it's so good to go and you actually dot down what happened during the day, because that's a moment of reflection. Whenever you can actually start writing down or typing it on the app, or even just doing a voice recording, which is a function that's going to be on the app, for that daily process, and being able to reflect on that, because that is also going to help you to improve yourself, help you to improve the process as well.
And also the valuable insights that you will get. Like the AI integration that's going to be, or that is added into Bizzin. I mean, amazing. That's awesome. Like what? Who even knew? It's crazy. And the thing is that it's honest. And it's completely unbiased. Like it takes everything into consideration, and it makes sure that you get an honest opinion, and just so you can reflect on that and make sure that what can we do to improve myself, to improve my business.
Definitely. And I think when the question you ask is like, why did we get to this point? And so why we get to this point is to get to the point where we saw the need for entrepreneurs to improve themselves. And I mean, through the accounting firm, and especially us being focused on small businesses, a lot of those business owners ask exactly the same question on a weekly basis. And so you see that sometimes it gets to a point where that's why the podcast is also such a vital aspect of it, is because now we're going to create an opportunity where we actually start speaking with other entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs that went through the same things, that went through the same challenges, and get their understanding of how they faced the challenges and how they went through it, and how they can leave something with us. Because we need to be able to be open to learn from other people. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I also had to learn quite early in creating our own business is understanding that other people can be right.
Yes.
And it sounds weird.
Especially your wife.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. But no, it's true, because I mean, now you're in this perspective that you're building something and you're getting a client and you're getting a second client and you're getting a third client. So now you feel like, I must be doing something right. So somewhere you're saying like, I must surely know what I'm doing, right? So, and when you get to that point where you don't open yourself up to actually learn from other people, then you start walking into a wall, right?
Yes.
Because then you start taking lesson after lesson and you're losing money where there's
School fees.
School fees, that's the thing, you're paying school fees. And because that's actually things that can help you improve yourself. So just by listening to other people and listening to other entrepreneurs, and especially with Bizzin, where we're going to be focused on small businesses, is where you can actually learn through somebody else's mistake.
Yes.
And you don't have to make that mistake. You don't have to lose that money again because somebody else already did it, right? And I'm saying the reason why we're focusing on small businesses, because it's sometimes difficult to relate to somebody that's flying their private jet. And that's also why we created this podcast as part of the a function on the app, because we should be able to learn from other people.
Yes, so
and
important.
I think that's one of the things where I probably walked into a wall most of the time, is not listening and not trying to learn from other people. Because in the beginning, you in those a few months in the beginning, like nothing is working out. And then all of a sudden you get one client and a second client comes and a third client comes. And now I'm like, well, something I must be doing right. And so now in that period, it starts, I don't know if it's an emotional thing or whatever, but it gets to a point like, well, I know what I'm doing. And that's actually when you get to a point where you're not open to hear from other people and to learn from other people, that's on the worst possible place where you can be.
Yes.
So part of the solution of Bizzin is to create an app where small businesses share their story.
Yeah.
And not only that, but where they actually start adding value to other entrepreneurs as well. And part of the journey with Bizzin is going to be to for entrepreneurs to share more about their industry, for entrepreneurs to share more about their challenging times in business, their good times, how they got a breakthrough in their business, how they overcame challenges. And I'm so excited about that. So because that's something that I'm glad that I'm going to be
with the popcorn.
Yeah.
Binge watching podcast.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm glad I'm going to be the one that sits and listen to them as well. So, but the ones when you do it, I'm going to listen at podcasts 2 or 3 times, because you want to take those valuable lessons from people. And there's so much other functions like the goals, being able to track your goals. Part of that is, once again, it's always a solution. You see so many entrepreneurs, they have these great ideas, but they are so stuck in their current position and in their current business with admin, with everything, that they don't get to a point where they actually focus on that bigger goal, right? Focus on what's after 5 years, focus on what's after 10 years. And then all of a sudden they get to a point where they just going and working to a point to put bread and butter on the table, but they're not working towards a point to become sustainable.
Yes. Yeah. And I think also pre-entrepreneur, like still in employment, but having a dream to one day have my own business and whatever it is that you want to do, but just to take that step and to listen to people who has done it.
Yes.
I think the hope that it creates.
Definitely.
Like it's possible.
It is.
It's possible for us to do that. It's possible for us to keep going, and it's possible for us to make that breakthrough and to step into the world of business. And how amazing is that, stepping into the world of business with Bizzin and making sure that everything is just
definitely
sorted.
Yeah. So excited. And so part of Bizzin's solution and why we are doing this is for you as entrepreneurs, for you as the person that needs to stand up every single day with employees, with challenges, with cash flow constraints, with everything you're going through, and having to have that passion in your business. So we are so excited to walk this journey with you. We are so excited to present Bizzin to you, and we look forward to the next podcast.
Yes.
Jess, once again, great
Over
having
and
you.
out.